All right, I'm going to bring this meeting of the Lawndale City Council, along with the Lawndale Public Financing Authority, to order. I'm going to ask the city clerk, / secretary, to give the roll call.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Kearney,
Here.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Here.
Councilmember Suarez,
Present.
Councilmember Talavera,
Present.
Mayor Pullen Miles,
Here.
all members are present.
Okay, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Shirley Cuevas to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed
Please.
by,
Sorry.
no, that's all.
Please stand.
Yeah, followed by Pastor George McLeany from Oak Chapel with a word of prayer.
Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, everyone. I just have a poem and a short prayer tonight. The poem is called Home, and it could relate to our home here on earth with family and so forth. Also, the home that we're promised eternally if we're believers. And I'd like to dedicate this poem to Doris Hoffman, whose celebration of life was today. Home. In a world where evil has increased and terror and rage have not ceased, there is a place that's in my heart whose path brightens the lonely dark, a place I long to be, a place my eyes beg to see, shutters of grace open to reveal a comforting hope that I can feel. Home, so renewing, restful and serene, through the door beyond open screen, family welcomes me with loving embrace, joyful looks upon every face, encouraging word upon listening ear, relieved from a life filled with fear. The troubles of the day are now at bay, for I'm home. My heart was always here. As I look upon it through falling tear, be still, my soul, and take your rest. Enjoy the peace that manifests, for I wander no more, no longer I roam. Cares are lifted, because I'm finally home. Let's pray. Father God, we do acknowledge your presence and your promises, Lord, as we believe in you, that you do offer a place in eternity. Jesus, you said that you would go and prepare that place for us. And Lord, we await that. But we also thank you for just being with us here and now, and ask for your grace and your mercy and your protection upon the city of Lawndale and upon all her citizens. We do thank you for every family, Lord. We thank you for every public servant. We thank you for our first responders. Pray that you would bless and protect them as they protect the people of this community. We do thank you for this evening and your grace upon us, Lord God. Pray for unity and choices of integrity, and that you would be acknowledged, as well as your word, the proven scriptures. And we thank you for decisions made that will honor you and benefit the people of Lawndale. I personally pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor, for those words of comfort. Thank you for being here. We're going to move our agenda. Let's hear from the captain of the Sheriff's Department, Nicole Palomino. Captain.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, esteemed members of the City Council, and members of the community. I'm Nicole Palomino, the captain of South Los Angeles Station, and I will be presenting the Public Safety Report for August 18th through September 15th. And I will start by discussing our notable arrests and investigations. And so on August 24th at approximately 6:30 p.m., Deputies Chris Rodriguez and Jackson Hill conducted a traffic stop at Marine Avenue and Prairie Avenue for numerous vehicle code violations. They discovered the driver was on probation with search conditions, and during a search of the vehicle, they recovered a loaded firearm from underneath the dashboard. The driver was arrested for felony weapons-related charges, and he was not a resident of Lawndale. And then on September 13th at approximately 11:30 p.m., South Los Angeles Station deputies responded to 14600 Larch Avenue regarding an illegal shooting traffic collision call for service. They arrived on scene and located a vehicle with numerous bullet holes that had crashed in the front yard of the property. A male adult was unconscious in the driver's seat and suffering from gunshot wounds. The deputies rendered medical aid to the victim. However, he was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Los Angeles County Fire Department. The decedent was a Lawndale resident and was a member of the Lawndale 13 gang. And then regarding our traffic-related incidents, Motorcycle Traffic Enforcement Deputy Morales issued 35 citations during the reporting period for various vehicle code violations, such as failure to stop at a stop sign, failure to stop at a red traffic light, and speeding. And then also the Lawndale Traffic Office conducted 4 Office of Traffic Safety grant operations in the city of Lawndale, which resulted in 59 traffic citations being issued. And then in addition, 4 DUI saturation operations were conducted, which resulted in 1 arrest for driving while intoxicated, and that individual was not a resident of Lawndale. And then Deputy Morales also arrested a male adult for reckless driving after he was observed doing donuts at 145th Street and Buren Avenue, and his vehicle was impounded for 30 days, and he was a resident of Lawndale. And then lastly, regarding our community engagement, our next neighborhood watch meeting is scheduled for this Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. at the Harold Hoffman Community Center, located at 14700 Buren Avenue. And everyone from the community is invited and encouraged to attend. This is a fantastic opportunity for Lawndale residents to gather and discuss important public safety issues with law enforcement and other community members. Hope to see you all there. And this concludes my report, and I would be happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Okay, thank you for that report. Are there any questions of the captain's report? No. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Is anyone from the LA County Fire Department here? Okay, let's move on. Let's have our presentation. We're on item 3, presentations presented on the property assessment with the PACE program. Let's hear from the representative of PACE. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. With me, or my name's Gabriel Holbert. I'm with Home Run Financing Government Affairs Team, and with me is our Senior VP Government Affairs, Rachel Hobbs, and our Compliance Manager, Nancy Ortiz. So back in 2008, the California legislature realized that there was going to be a need to serve the lower to middle income communities who might not be served by many of the needs-based programs for solar, drought-tolerant landscaping. We'll get into those improvements later. And they created property-assessed clean energy, which enables homeowners to finance these improvements through property taxes that is then paid with a special non-ad valorem assessment. Benefits for the homeowners here is that the equity, or that eligibility is based in the equity in the property and ability to repay instead of FICO. There are no upfront costs. So unlike other methods of payments and financing that will have down payment requirements, homeowners are able to finance with PACE $0 down. It's a fully fixed and amortized rate that's repaid through their property taxes. There have been many changes to PACE since 2008, the biggest one here being AB 1284, passed in 2017. It created the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, the DFPI, as the regulator of PACE, who now regulates the PACE administrators like many other financial institutions in the state. And it also created ability to pay income verification when homeowners apply. And also, as of 2019, all of the PACE administrators, including my company, Home Run Financing, is licensed and registered by DFPI. Now, going to hand this over to our compliance manager, Nancy Ortiz. Next 2 slides.
Buenas noches, alcalde, vicealcalde, y miembros del consulado. My name is Nancy Ortiz. I am a bilingual Spanish speaking, and I work for Home Run Financing, and all of our customer service speak Spanish if it is a language that the customer requires. Now I'm going to go ahead and present to you our consumer protections that we have in place. We do require term confirmation calls with the homeowner in which these calls are recorded, which is very important. The homeowner does have 3-day right of rescission and 5 days if the customer is 65 age or older. We do offer language accessibility, which Spanish is available. We do require a signed certificate of completion by the homeowner indicating that the project has been completed to their satisfaction. We also do require a closing call. That is another form of, another form of verification with the homeowner, verbally confirming that the project has been completed to their satisfaction. Lastly, we do collect closed permits and do perform true pick, which is an inspection on the property, verifying that the project has been completed. Next slide, please. Now, how does a contractor become approved with us? A contractor just can't come in and just become approved with us. They have to go through our vetting process. They need to go through our screening and must have a valid and active contractor's license. All insurance policies need to be active along with that. Contractors do need to require to complete all mandatory training materials and need to follow our agreement and marketing guidelines. Along with that, they are not just approved, they do get monitored by us. So with that being said, we are constantly checking that their license is up to date, that they're in good standing with the state of California. There's no complaints. And we are also in constant communication with other PACE providers to make sure that we're all in the lookout or are in the lookout of bad actors, because fortunately, there are bad actors out there. So that's something that we have to just be in constant communication with other PACE providers. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and allow Gabe to finish our presentation.
Thank you, Nancy. So as Nancy pointed out previously, and as we've pointed out in previous slides, there's many features and benefits and protections with PACE that you're not just going to find with other financial products on the market. Other products aren't going to have the rigorous contractor oversight and training, aren't going to have a term that's tied to the useful life of the improvement, and are also not going to have the improvement pricing reviews and all the other methods of protection that we've mentioned. There's over 80 eligible improvements that homeowners have to finance with us and have the ability to finance with us. The big ones being energy efficiency from HVAC, roofing, insulation, renewable energy, so that can be electric vehicle charging stations, solar panels, batteries, drought tolerant landscaping, drip irrigation, other water conservation measures, and also seismic retrofits are functions that can be financed as well. So looking at what the residential PACE industry has done in California since inception will show that the original purpose of PACE as put out by the California legislature has largely been met with this. You'll see that as a result of it, there's been over $6 billion that have been invested into local communities, over 7 million metric tons of carbon that have been abated, and over 230,000 homes that have been able to be upgraded as a result of PACE. Numerous of your neighbors throughout LA County have PACE available to their homeowners. Most recently, we were approved in Hawthorne, right next door to you. And in order to make PACE available in Lawndale, PACE is offered through the California Statewide Communities Development Agency, CSCDA. They offer an open PACE program that has 3 providers, including Home Run Financing, Now, to make this available to your residents, you'd need to pass a resolution joining CSCDA and a resolution authorizing the Open PACE program at a future meeting. And that is the end of our slides. Be happy to take any questions any of you might have.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Are there any comments? Bernadette Suarez, Councilwoman.
Yes, and I know the answer, I just wanted to, for the council, because I did ask this when I met with you individually. Is there any cost to joining CSCDA?
There is not, and there are also other benefits as well. There are other municipal finance programs that come with CSCDA beyond PACE.
Really quick, you mentioned you're bilingual, but besides Spanish, is there another language or that you have staff members?
No, we don't have another language, but we do have protocols in place. So if we do encounter a customer or homeowner that speaks another language, we require for them to pass ID verification and have them obtain a translator of their trust over the age of 18, and we have them on a recorded line confirming that they're going to be translating the term call or any of our calls with the homeowner.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. Does Frank have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question. On this program, is it one of those programs that requires that everyone on the title of the property be present to participate in this program?
Yes, so everybody that's on title, that's on the property, needs to sign the assessment contract and needs to be involved on the financing.
And would that also go for when you're doing the closing, a confirmation and the closing calls that are recorded? Would that?
Yes, that means also the certificate of completion as well. All homeowners are required to sign that certificate indicating that the job's been completed and we do closing calls.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to be very blunt with you. How's your housekeeping? Because a few years ago, you had some major issues, court issues. Have you cleaned that up?
I'd say largely the legislation in 2017 was in response to many of those issues. And I think all of the safeguards mentioned, including that we do the true pick, that we do the inspection, we don't pay the contractors are not paid until we have that completion call and that certificate from the homeowner guaranteeing that the project was done to their satisfaction. That's why we do the background checks on the contractors. That's why we monitor them, largely both by industry practice and state legislation. Many of those issues have been addressed.
Okay, what can you tell me about the legal obligation of the city if we enter into this agreement, which will allow our residents to participate? And how many people besides your organizations would this apply to?
So there's no legal risk to a city for it. It is undertaken by us. And then, can you repeat the second part of your question, please?
Yeah, how many organizations besides yours would this apply to if we?
There are
15?
three residential PACE providers included in CSCDA's Open PACE program. We're one of them. The other two are Renew Financial and Fortify Financial.
So if we join, that means the residents will have a choice out of 3 companies?
That's correct,
Not
yes.
just yours? Thank you.
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
So the homeowners have the opportunity to choose their own contractor to do the work?
In many cases, it becomes if someone is looking to get these improvements done on their home, the contractor, when it's time to pay, can present PACE as an option to pay. Granted, they've gone through all of our background checks and have been onboarded by us properly.
But if I had a preference to a personal contractor that I know, I would have to recommend them to you,
Yes, that would be right, correct.
and they
So,
go through your process.
correct, yes. So if the homeowner has a designated contractor and they're not onboarded with us, they, like you said, the customer will refer them to us and they would have to go through our vetting process and check all the boxes in order for them to become approved, and they can proceed with that customer's project.
Bernadette Suarez.
And just to clarify, all other providers of the all other providers aside from Home Run follow a similar structure, I'm guessing, due to those laws that were passed, which required some of these steps to be taken.
That's
such
correct.
As contractor approval and vetting.
That is correct.
I have one last question. How do we, or how does a resident check that the contractor that either you guys approve or is not inflating the cost in order to get more money from? Is there a way you guys?
In our system, we do have price caps in our system that we have to follow. So there are price caps, so the contractor can't inflate project cost, turf, square footage. So we do have price caps in our system that they can cap out on.
Thank you.
So walk me through the process. Let's say a resident goes through your process. We approve it and they go through your process, but they fail to pay for whatever reason. Can you place a lien on their house, and can that lien cause the home go into foreclosure?
That is a possibility, but that is also something that the DFPI, as part of their regulation of PACE monitors, that type of occurrence is really rare, and that's also why we have the strict underwriting standards to make sure that they have the ability to pay in the first place so that that type of outcome doesn't happen.
Okay, thank you.
So, and piggybacking off of that, because I work in real estate, so I've seen a lot of times some of these programs, and I think, do they get paid right away? So I know it follows any other financing criteria where you have to be able to show that you're able to pay it, but does it get paid does it get paid with the property taxes? Or?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay,
It does
so-
get paid with the property taxes.
Okay, and then if they sell the home, then there's a balloon, like a total amount that has to get paid off with
It
that.
is, yes, they are able to pay it off, but it also is transferable should a new homeowner decide to take it on as well. But
Okay.
most of the time, when they sell the home, they use proceeds of the sale to pay off the PACE assessment.
Okay.
All right, so.
Well, not a question, but the reason why I requested it is because apparently a resident was trying to wanted to go through the program. And I think with our constituents, some of these repairs, like the roofing and whatnot, it's very expensive, especially nowadays. And so that's why I brought it forward. I was hoping that we could agendize this to get the amendment, to allow residents to take advantage of it. My only concern would be, making sure that they're understanding, just like any other contract or agreement that they're signing, what that looks like, whether the payment structure and whatnot gets disclosed to them and all of that. But I think it could be of use to some of our residents.
Yeah, I agree. Any other questions? Okay, so what is the pleasure of this body concerning this item? Let me see.
It's not an action item.
What are you guys requesting?
Mayor, but I've heard two members say that they'd at least like it brought back with a resolution to consider joining, and I'd prefer to not get a third say that they want to join because that might be a Brown Act problem. So with the two, the city manager and I will work to get it on a agenda in the not too distant future.
Okay, thank you
Yeah,
for your
I'd be
report.
happy to follow up with your staff as well to help make that
Thank you,
happen.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, now we're on oral communications. Oral communications, when you have the opportunity to speak to this body, either the Lawndale City Council or the Public Financing Authority on items that are not on the agenda. If you'd like to do so, please just come to the podium when the person before you has concluded. You don't have to wait for your name to be called, but we ask that you give your name first and then start with your presentation. At 2.5, yeah. Okay, there's the timer right there. You got 3 minutes. At 2.5 minutes, the timer will beep. Okay, all right. The city clerk will beep to give you the signal to start wrapping things up. Let's have our first speaker.
My name is Laura Shanian. I'm a long-term resident of the city of Lawndale, and I'm here to share with you my family's safety concern. In the early morning hours of Saturday, September 6th, I was awakened by what sounded like my neighbor's engine starting and revving. The noise was getting louder and coming through our open windows. As I laid in bed, it sounded as if a vehicle was in the intersection of Grevillea and 167th doing donuts. Then the sound slowly went away. Later that morning, I checked the intersection. I saw what I thought looked like donut tire marks. When I came home, I checked our video footage from ADT cameras. I saw no cars in the intersection. What I did see was motorcycle headlight turning on in the garage of my neighbor's home, a motorcycle coming out of the garage onto the driveway into Greville Avenue, passing in front of our home, going into the section, and then driving up onto the sidewalk, which is 2 to 3 feet from our open windows, revving its engines. And then it stops in front of our windows, revving its engines. He next passed out onto Greville and left. So I phoned the sheriff's office at 10:30 a.m. to report this motorcycle incident. I spoke with Officer Rancheria for 5 minutes and 37 seconds. During the call, his response was, "Call us the next time it happens." I asked why. I have the video footage. He asked for the neighbor's address and phone number and said someone will contact them, but we have a lot of calls right now. Then I called again at 11:27 and spoke to Deputy Gonzalez, who told me there was no log about my previous call. I asked him who's the lieutenant in charge. He's told me Lieutenant Milroy. I asked to speak to this person. He told me she was on another call and that he would give her my name, phone number so that she could call me. That was Saturday, September 6th. Today is the 15th. No one from the Lawndale Sheriff's Office has called me about this perpetrator who's violated not only Lawndale City Ordinance Title IX, Public Peace, but also California Penal Code 415, disturbing the peace. So the motorcycle incident was willful, malicious, aggressive, intimidating, and threatening, and it cannot go unchecked. It is the duty of the Lawndale Sheriff's Office to uphold the law and ensure lawbreakers are brought to justice.
Thank you for that report. We'll make some comments when everyone else has a chance to speak. Yes, ma'am, you're next. That's the line right there? Is that the line?
Yes.
Okay, okay, then you're next.
Sure, I'll go. All right, I brought a map and print out for you. You should have it already. I'll give you the contact card as well. This for the mayor and council. Hello, everyone. Great to see you again, Mayor, council members, city manager. My name is Patrick Fallon, live here in Lawndale. First off, just want to recognize the great effort of the community with holding a community meeting this weekend at William Green Park. You'll hear more about it, I'm sure, from some of the other speakers. I wasn't able to be there in person, but I heard it was really well attended and had an impact with those that were there in person. The item I gave before you there is a brief map showing a map of Lawndale based off of the FCC, Federal Communications Commission website, showing currently basically the divide between North and South Lawndale in our accessibility to high-speed internet communications. I know the city manager and staff are currently working on proposals and items with communication companies, be it Verizon, AT&T, Sonic, you may have not heard of them, Spectrum, etc. But I just wanted to visually present it to you so you have an idea of where things currently stand for residents and small businesses in the city and why there's a need to encourage development and build out of fiber infrastructure. I was in Hawthorne the other day and saw trucks actively installing. They said they were with Sonic, but I know AT&T, Verizon, Frontier, et cetera, have been doing some other areas, and I think as a community we should try to encourage and find ways forward, because these sorts of capital investments only happen every few decades. Like I remember my dad in Torrance getting this in the mid to late 2000s, right? So, and then it stalls out because money runs out or whatever. So really important because it will help not just those that need the higher speeds, but it creates competitive markets for cost, so people aren't stuck with just one provider. There's multiple providers, that brings the price down, and that benefits residents of all needs. So again, thank you. I know the staff and the city manager has been working on some items, but I just wanted to give you a nice visual of where, particularly in the cities, we need this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Holly Osborne. I'm from Redondo Beach, and I went to your event yesterday, and I became aware that some people just needed a little update about where things stand. So I sent out 3 figures, and this is people from Redondo as well as Lawndale. I know I had received questions about where is it the train absolutely, the LRT, going to be closest to the homes. And that's, well, this is the old first figure, but you've got this first figure here, and it shows 7 feet to the structure, and that happens to be in Redondo. However, in Lawndale, the 75-foot width, which I'm not going to talk about, will be even closer. But if you want to know, and a resident asked me where it's the closest, this is a good figure to use. And the backup for that, I just want to show you where it is this picture across the Artesia to Grant portion. And it used to be that this freight train went down to these houses, but now it goes straight across. The person I showed this to didn't even know it had been changed from going down to going straight across. And where this small distances is up here. And then I had a real engineer do this, okay? And he had distances from a track center to the properties, okay? So I really appreciate this man, Mr. Hall. He's a Redondo Beach retired engineer. Retired engineers get to do a lot of this. And the reason these numbers like 13 feet or 7 feet are important is Mayor Butt said that's too close. He said even 30 feet is too close, and he said definitely 13 feet. So now you've got your ammunition. The first figure I sent you, because that's part of the new FEIR, and I didn't get a chance to make a big poster, and so I think that's really all I want to say, but I would like to point out one other thing. When I pointed this out to the Redondo resident, she says, oh, now the east side gets the worst of it. And I said, yes, that's true. And the east side has the worst of it in Lawndale as well, north of 170th. And then I also want to point out this, where's the red dot? Well, it's not on there. It's where the sinkhole was. But I've rambled enough. Again, I'm just trying to bring you all up to date so we're on the same page when you go to your next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Coulter. I am pleased to say that I am now the permanent community library manager for Lawndale Library, so I will be here permanently. I'm very excited about that. Other than that, we're just continuing to expand our adult programming for the community, working with Jason to build out our community and see what other programs we can add for everyone. And lastly, of probably great interest to everyone, Metro has released to the library the environmental impact report. It's multiple very large documents. They're available at the adult reference desk. If anyone would like to view those in the library, those are available for the public now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Amber Merida. I am pleasure to have the time to speak with you. I'm here in regards of the concerns for our parks. So a part of Lawndale, I am engaged with the project where I'm focusing on the community parks and the concerns surrounding them. The parks are supposed to be safe, active spaces in Lawndale, but they're mainly unused, closed after hours, and unsafe because of behavior problems or fights. Safety is one of the biggest concerns. When fights occur or unsafe behavior happens, families and kids stop coming. A possible solution is adding patrol officers to monitor after school or at night, which would help prevent issues and make the parks feel safer. At the time, we've also seen how parks can be positive. Currently, I went to the Saturday Blues event where students from the entire community, from people from the entire community got together and they were able to engage with music, games, and foods. We can have more positive entertainment like this for our residents and community, such as another event that I went where where the official Lawndale Little League program where is associated with Dodgers, so kids are able to have the time and freedom to come with their families and able to play baseball and have a great time. So from this, another major concern is William Green Park. With the upcoming C Metro Line extension to Torrance, there is a risk that William Green Park could be taken away for the train construction of a right-of-way clearance. This would not only reduce our community's green space, but it would also bring commotion, noise, and disruption to take place that should be more peaceful and welcoming. We cannot allow our vulnerable parkland to be lost for a project that would harm the very environment that we're trying to protect. These benefits and improving our parks is clear that we should have a more safer space environment and engage with community events. If we commit to improving safety, hosting more community events, and protecting our existing parks from outside projects, Lawndale can keep its green spaces thriving for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Light Phillips. I currently attend Lawndale High School, and I'm also the founder and, of course, chairwoman of Accessible Science Initiative, one of the nonprofit organizations that I created. So I'm here today to kind of give you guys kind of a brief overview on what my organization is about, the outreach that we're trying to gain and make, as well as, what I'm trying to ask you guys of is, kind of like a space here at Lawndale to host workshops, as well as to reach out more to Lawndale's constituents and beyond that. So basically, you already heard about who I am. For the reason why I created this organization is as a result of a passion that I'm so grateful to experience over the summer. I managed to have an internship at a hospital that educated me on science literature as well as science research, and that currently inspired what I'm doing right now. So basically, Accessible Science Initiative is a nonprofit that is dedicated to educating communities about science, demystifying research, and providing practical exposure to scientific tools. Our mission is to help individuals understand the role of science in society, break down stereotypes and barriers so we can trust and participate in scientific fields, empowering our community and dissolving negative stereotypes. One of the major issues that I can bring up currently is, the recent epidemic of COVID-19. I remember when that epidemic was something severe and where, millions of people were hysteric and, were scared and nervous of not only the vaccines, but also COVID itself. And so this caused, mistrust, distrust, as well as stereotypes and also propaganda and media narrative and all of those different things that created a lot of, mystifying reasons why not to trust science. And it's time that we as society, as well as people, take the initiative to break those down through having workshops here, not only at Lawndale, but worldwide, and also donating scientific tools to local communities or local schools that don't have access to such. Furthermore, according to LA School Report, it is said that Los Angeles Unified School District, just over 43.1% of students meet state reading proficiency targets in 2023 all the way to 2024, which shows persistent struggles with literacy even after the pandemic. And this matters because literacy and scientific understanding are deeply tied together, and without strong literacy skills, students struggle to engage with scientific research effectively and critically. So I ask you all to please, take consideration of my organization and help create workshops here and, to empower both our community as well as our students. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, staff, mayor, councilman. My name is Juan Granados, and I am here to focus on establishing a police force for small cities such as ours. This involves significant costs, but initially, the startup expenses and ongoing operational costs, the breakdown is based on the search results that I've made. It says legal advice before starting a police department. It's crucial to obtain legal advice regarding state and county regulations, jurisdiction, liability, employment laws, and other legal matters. Startup costs. The cost of building a police department can range from 10 million to 30 million, depending on the size and the features of the facility. The building alone could cost between 5 and 15 million. But guess what? We have our own station on Prairie. We could build on that. Equipment. This includes patrol cars, firearms, radios, and other necessary equipment. This could cost up to 1 million initially. But there are organizations that will give some of these things away for free. Secondhand, obviously. But they are willing to give away guns, patrol units, radios, antennas, and whatnot, and what have you. Administrative and overhead. There will be a substantial increase in workload for administrative functions such as human resources and finance. There may be need to add to handle tasks like accounting, recruitment, employee negotiations, and processing claims. However, the operational costs, salaries, and benefits, salaries for the officers in California can range from approximately $47,000 to $90,000 annually, with an average around $62,000. The U.S. average city peace officer salaries range from about $48,000 to $92,000 annually, with an average of $63,000. Small town police jobs in California tend to have an average salary of $55,000. Benefits for officers can add a significant amount to the cost, potentially ranging from 35% of the salary to over 50%. Personnel services. The typical make of large portions of the overall budget, 80 through 95%, and includes salaries, benefits, and potentially other personnel-related costs. Maintenance and operations. Ongoing expenses for vehicle maintenance and equipment upkeep, salaries, supplies, utilities, and training will be necessary. Per resident spending, cities in California generally spend between $150 and $450 per resident on policing, with a median of $290. Other factors: crime rates, the overall wealth of the city, and the specific services provided can influence the overall policing of our city. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Kearney, for talking with me after the Metro meeting about beautification committee and parkways. It's so sad to see so many more people just ignore their parkways in front of their property. Owners need to be reminded that this is a responsibility to take care of them. It's hard to look at the weeds, dog crap not picked up, dirt, trash. And of course, as I drove down my street yesterday, prior to talking to him, there is a bunch of broken glass, in the parkway right now over by my house, like a mirror or window that was broken out. Well, no one's gonna pick this up because it's in front of an 8-plex rental unit. So, if you broke an item, why don't you just sweep it up and pick it up? But part of the glass now is in the street, it's in the parkway, and now kids going to school, animals, people have to watch out for all this broken glass. I don't know why people just can't respect even rental property or the property and just pick this stuff up. I know it'll remain there because nobody will pick it up. But anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Matthew Harbison. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff. First of all, thank you for Lawndale Cleanup Week. It was Saturday. There were a lot of people going around carrying all sorts of stuff. I saw tires and plywood and paint buckets, and so thank you for just creating an opportunity for people to be a part of the community, to help invest in cleaning it up. So thank you for that. Also, I'm interested in exploring the idea of a, how do I want to put it, a Lawndale Resident Bereavement Fund. Maybe there's a better term. But bottom line, when bad things happen to residents, particularly if they have been killed or if they pass away, the city should write a card, send some flowers or something. Because if a resident of ours passes away, the city should let the family know that that person was valued. And I don't know if that means there's money that needs to come from somewhere to make that happen, but and I don't know it, I don't think that should be coming from your personal accounts, your discretionary funds. But if there's something that can be set aside so that, especially in tragic accidents, or if there are things in it, and there's probably all sorts of loopholes. Like, I mean, I could say someone died and then we send them a card and they're not dead. I don't know if we have to show death certificates. It can get pretty complicated, but frankly, we're a small city and we can kind of find out, and especially when we hear something big, if that's going around, then we should probably reach out as a city to let people know we care about you. You are one of our residents. And so I don't know if that's a budgetary item or something to think of down the line, but it should definitely be something that, as the community is aware, the council should at least say that we care. And so that's something that I want to encourage you to think about, and also to encourage you to educate the people that you are regular people. I don't think you're career politicians, and sometimes letting them know that you're regular people and need to be trained might be to your benefit. And so the people might be hostile. If I were to come up, I know nothing of what you're doing. There's plenty of things you know about. I have no idea. And if I were to come up and to do this, then I would need educating. I would need background. And I think there might be some workshops, some trainings, or other things that might benefit you, so that the community would encourage you to be a part of these things. Because I think, frankly, most of you are learning by the skin of your teeth, or one of the other person's dragging you along and you're hoping to catch something. So I'm just encouraging you to reach out to the community, let them know that you're regular people, but also that you care, and that if something happens, you're there for them.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, hello? I don't think this is on, but thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm not here to talk about the row, although we had a wonderful meeting, and I thank all the council members, the mayor, the city manager for coming out and supporting us. We had well over 200 people there, including some of our politicians who spoke. The final EIR, Environmental Impact Report, is out, and it's huge and it's ridiculous, and we need to keep fighting. Not here to talk about that, though. I'm here because my ears perked up when we had a presentation from PACE. And even though this resident can't be here, I'm going to read what he's saying about PACE, what he's told our group actually about a week ago. And I'm going to ask him to reach out. PACE program solicitors for long-term, they seek out long-term predatory lending. They have a long-term scheme. There's a lot more going on. My parents fell for this scheme for a home energy efficient upgrade founded by the government. Total lie. They are solicitors registered with the program, but they also are contractors or sales representatives for private lending companies. My parents were told they didn't have to pay anything because it's a government program. And due to the new laws, they have to do the upgrades. Now they are in debt for $150,000 for 30 years. By then, they have paid more than $300,000 with interest. And then a reporter reached out and said, "Hi, I've gotten these flyers myself, and only knew that they were essentially a scam because I did a story on this many years ago, maybe back in 2017 or 2018. Usually they attach a large balance to one's property taxes and make it seem like they pay nothing since they don't have to pay anything up front. I think it's worth doing another story on, since it continues to be a problem, and maybe we can, blah, blah, blah." Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that that is known. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing there's no more people in the line, let's bring it up to the diocese for some comments from the council. Let's hear from Frank Talavera, council member.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for being flexible and being here in this room. I don't know if you feel sort of out of sorts. I feel out of sorts right now. But I'm glad that we're all here, and I just want to thank you for taking the time to being with us. Definitely, Laura, we can sympathize with you, or I can, and we definitely do need to control the lawbreakers that are doing donuts. On my way over here, I was coming down Gravilla, and towards Marine, and I see all these skid marks there. I said, how could they do donuts in this little street here? But they managed to do them. And I just hope that that our police station, our sheriff can, have a quick response to when a resident calls, and just not make us feel that we're not being heard. And I know they're busy, and I know there's a lot of issues going on, but again, they need to take that time and do a follow-up and call back and let us know what's going on. For Patrick, thank you for bringing this to our attention, and I can relate to this because I've had a few people talk to me about how bad their connection is, really. So, and I'm in a situation where where we live, reception was great. Well, right now we're across the street, and I can't get Spectrum, Verizon, or T-Mobile to function every single day. So I'm about disconnecting and resetting my router and everything, almost once or twice a week. So, and then I noticed that the signal's not strong, or it's slowing down, and so I don't know how on one side of the street, like I've never had problems, it was working great, and then now just across the street, and now it's not. All three services, all three companies are like not functioning great. I don't know if it's a billow tree that we have now in the front yard or what it is, but it's something definitely that we need to look at and hopefully that we can remedy. Holly, thank you as always for the update and all the great information that you provide for us, and so thank you. Every time that you present something, it opens my eyes, it enlightens me, and the fight is real, like they say, and sometimes people, they think, well, it's not, and I had a conversation today at lunch with some of the seniors, because they said, well, I don't live that close to that. I know, but it's going to impact you. This is going to happen. If this happens, this is what's going to happen. And I was able to share this information because of the information that you bring to us, Dr. Osborne, and the conversations I've had with Annette and with Chelsea. So I want to thank their group for always bringing this attention to us. Caitlin, congratulations on your permanency, and thank you for always doing great things for the library, and we look forward to having a great program. Amber, I don't know if you're still here. You are? Okay, there you are, Amber. Okay, absolutely. I think, the park should be safe, and I think we all agree with that. And I was wondering if maybe, because I don't know, but if I can get the addresses to every park in Lawndale and their operating hours, just so I can have that point of information and then continue. I know that, I think that's one of the things that Southwest is supposed to do, is monitor the parks. But you can't be everywhere all the time, and people just seem to do things that make places unsafe when no one's looking. So, but I think we're vigilant, and if we need to amp it up, then we should. We should make sure that our park spaces are safe for our residents and for the children, that they can be out there and have a good time. Is it Light? Yes. Light Phillips, thank you for your presentation. And absolutely, being an educator, if people can't read, they're going to fail at all the other subjects. So literacy is absolutely essential, and hopefully we can offer some of the workshops. If hopefully you talk to the right people in our city, and we can get something going here. Okay. Juan, thank you for your report on creating a police department. Okay, I think many of us have talked about it, and I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know how much more we have to investigate. Definitely, it's something on a lot of people's minds. So maybe there is something that we should have a dedicated conversation about having our own police department. And Dina, thank you for showing up today, as always. Dina, I'm not, you're way back there. Okay. And I think if I understood it, is the trash or the thing that happened outside of a person's house or a building? Is that correct? Yeah, and I would like to know whose responsibility is that? Is that a city responsibility, or is that the homeowner that lives out at that house?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. That is the homeowner. The parkways are maintained by the residents. The city will plant the trees, but the parkway is maintained by the residents. So is the residents. So we can, Mr. Reyes can reach out to Dina and talk to her and find out the address, and then we can pay them a little visit, ask them to clean up the glass.
Well, maybe this is something that maybe for the minute more, because where we're staying at right now, the homeowner, she provides the gardening service, and they're out there and they clean up and they do it all. But the homeowner next to us, they have a jungle in that front, and I wonder, well, who's going to come and cut this? Because they don't do it. So is the city supposed to cut it?
Mayor, Council, no, the property owner is to maintain the parkways.
Then they need to know that, I think.
And so if you can hand over send me an email and the address of the properties in question, we'll go have Mr. Reyes and his team look into those and reach out to those residents.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to single out anyone in particular. I'm just giving that as an example. But I'm sure if we go through the city, we'll find a lot of those. But it could be just more ignorant than anything else. Ignorance, thinking that, well, that's not my property. That's the city should come and cut it down. Well, they need to know that, hey, take care of it. It's right in front of your house. So thank you, Dina, for bringing that up and bringing that awareness to us. Matt, thank you for reminding us about the Lawndale Cleanup Week. I'm glad that we're doing that. And I really agree with benevolent fund for Lawndale residents, because they need to know. They need to know that we care about them. Okay. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but the murder that happened at the 7-Eleven, I reached out to the family. They had a link for Amazon, and I was able to contribute something to them, and it just felt good to do it, and it felt right to do it because now they know that Lawndale cares about them. I'm not going to say that I fulfilled every item on their wish list. I didn't, but I did what I could do. And in situations like this, people just need to know that they're not invisible to us. That we cherish them, that we honor them, and that they're important to our community as Lawndalians. So I think that's a great idea. And it's true. People need to know that we're just like you. We don't have no special powers. We just have a heart that wants to make our city, our community better. Now, do we always agree? No, we don't. Do we always have the answer? Probably not. One thing that I'm learning as the new council member here is that we seem to be driving an air carrier. Okay, so in the speedboat, you turn around, you turn the wheel, turns around, and you do the full circle in seconds. But we're on an aircraft carrier, and to do a 360 takes a lot of time. So just bear with us. It's not that we don't care. It's not that we don't think it's unimportant. It's just there's regulations, there's rules to follow, and we just do our best to do what we can and hope that everything, is resolved. Annette, thank you for bringing that into our attention, the PACE program. The other thing I have to say about that is what they always say, caveat emptor, right? Buyer beware. So a person needs to know what they're signing, what they're getting into, and And sometimes, I think it's like having a timeshare. You know, there's a lot of negativity about owning a timeshare, but I had a friend that had 3 timeshares, and they used them to the fullest every time they were going on vacation. And last week, my wife and I, 2 weeks ago, we went to Palm Springs, and we almost got reeled into one. But it's that fear, like, no, because what's going to happen? What, you know, then these fees, the homeowners fees, the association fees, but we have this experience that there's one couple that we know, having 3, I mean, they just enjoyed it to the fullest. So it's caveat emptor, buyer beware. If it's something that you think you should do, do it. If not, find out, get that information. Still in the city, I think there's probably a department within the city, whether it be the senior center or the senior group or beautification, that could probably have a workshop to let, you know, with more detail than having a 10-minute presentation here, you know, and bring real case scenarios of how these programs work. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Did he say it all?
I said it all for right now, yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Suarez.
Okay, thank you to everybody that came. I think my colleague touched on most of those. I just have a few follow-up questions. Resident mentioned fiber network. If we could include in that staff investigation regarding it, the COG, all of the cities have moved towards building fiber lines in their cities. They're connecting government offices and businesses and eventually hoping to get it widespread around the community. I know we looked at it before, but I think it's worth visiting again. There's nothing worse than having, you know, you're looking at cost savings, but at what cost? When your internet's going out and it's the same thing. I'm constantly having to reboot mine, so I think that's something we need to look at because we need reliable service. And then with regards to the parks, does staff have an update? Because we talked about having vans over there to do programs that would hopefully inhibit some of these individuals that come to the parks.
Good evening, Jason Minner, Community Services Director. We are still working on the staffing for our mobile recreation program. Everything else is kind of contingent on that. Once those staff come in, we do have those selected. We're working with HR to get the offers made and hopefully have those positions filled the next couple weeks where we can bring them in and start the training and building of the program. But yes, it is moving along.
Perfect, thank you. And then I would also like to see the hours that the parks are available. I have heard complaints in the past that sometimes they're not open, sometimes they are, and I know during the COVID stretch too, we chose to close them down, so that would be something I'd be interested in seeing.
The biggest challenge has been working with the schools and getting the school parks open with the RAP program, which is new. Those RAP program hours expanded, which the public was used to getting on the parks at like 4 o'clock, and now the RAP programs keep them closed till 5 or 5:30. So that has been a big change that's affected our public's ability to use the park.
And just for some context, for those that aren't aware, the school parks are owned by the school districts, and we have a use agreement in which the public is allowed to access those. But so some of it's not completely under our control with regards to the hours, contextualizing it. And then thank you to Light. Thank you for coming with your presentation. I look forward to looking through it a little more intensely, but I commend you for trying to be active at such a young age too. And then one, I completely agree. I think that we need to look into our own force. From what I've been told at meetings, the sheriff department cannot hire right now. And I think we need more deputies. I think we need more presence in the community. I think with a police department, we would have more control over some of the things that go on and have better accountability for things. I don't think it's completely the sheriff's department's fault. I know they're going through a lot, but at the end of the day, I think that our residents need. I think we need more deputies. I think we need a more police presence. I think the safety has become a concern, and I really think we need to move in that direction. And then with regards to the parkways, I know we talked about cleanup, and I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's this individual that goes around and mows people's lawns. I think he helps elderly people, whatnot. There's different YouTubers that do that, but one in particular, I don't know what state it was in, but he mentioned that if you don't clean your parkway, the city will send someone to clean it up, then bill you for it. And so that was like an interesting thought to me. I'm like, if people get enough notices, can you just send, someone to mow it and then just bill them? I don't know if that's an option.
Mayor, council, we can look into that. I mean, I know other cities have done that. We do have an ability, after we go through a process, to abate the property, as the council's well aware. But we can definitely look at that and bring something back to you.
Yeah, and the reason I bring it up is rather than going through a lengthy legal process and spending attorney bills, can you just go straight to that? And then you save the homeowner and the city money.
You may be able to do it with, and I'll just answer quickly, with an administrative abatement where staff would go to an administrative hearing officer, and so it would never get to lawyers, or if it was, it would be, a half an hour or an hour kind of advising staff on how to handle the hearing, but it would not be the kind of large-scale lawyer involvement that you see with bigger code cases. Happy to work with the city manager to look at options for you.
Okay. And then I'll just touch on one more. Thank you, Matthew, for talking about regular people thing. So I know a few people brought up events over the weekend, and I unfortunately wasn't able to make any of the events. Besides council, I have 3 other jobs, so I am a regular person, go through the same thing, and so, but I do get the emails and I try to respond, and if anybody ever wants to outreach to me personally, I'm happy to meet with you, talk to you. But yeah, I want to thank everybody that came out tonight, and hope to see you at future meetings bringing to us your concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Cuevas.
All I would like to say is thank you for coming out and meeting with us in this tiny area. I could hardly see some faces because I have stuff in front of me. I'm used to being on top, but thank you for coming out, speaking, and my colleagues already said everything that I was thinking of, so I'll pass on.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
I have a lot. Laura, need a chance, Lieutenant and the captain in the back, you talked about your phone calls. Need a chance? The sheriffs are back in the back. Patrick, I know the high-speed thing, because when I first moved to Lawndale, where I live now, one side of Marine was Spectrum, the other side Verizon, and they would not cross over. So I know what you're talking about, the high-speed. Miss Librarian, congratulations on being permanent. Amber, you brought up about Green Park might be being taken away from Metro?
Yeah, I was hearing about
Okay,
Yeah, that was rhetorical.
Yeah, sorry.
No conversations back and forth.
Green is not being attached.
Mayor, council, based on my review of the final EIR and the draft, I don't see that, but I thought maybe the resident that brought up the concerns, there will be potential impacts like fugitive dust, construction noise, all those other impacts to going green.
So hopefully Green Park would not be touched. Ms. Light, first of all, where is she? Go Cardinals.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a loser down here, over here, but we don't count them. Maybe reach out to Jason and maybe Miss Librarian and see about workshops in both locations, if we can. Dina, Parkways, I like the idea of administrative citations, but my question is, we have a strong number of renters here. Are we going to send the citations, the notices to the owners, or are we going to send it to the residents that live there? That's my question for you guys to figure out. Matthew, I think we do a thing for flowers and cards when we know. You send out, like Miss Hoffman recently passed away, we sent flowers to her daughters and brothers' houses. Cleanup day, I'm gonna tell you, I screwed that one up big time because they changed the date on cleanup day. I did not, for the 15 plus years I've been on council, it's always been on the second Saturday. Somehow the beautification, I'm not gonna point fingers, but they changed it to the first Saturday. And I didn't know anything about it till our city clerk mentioned it at the Blues Festival. So I apologize for not being there. And last but not least, Yvette, I know what you're talking about PACE. The two incidents you were speaking about were both seniors, and they had several cases against them about seniors. So I understand what you're talking about. With that, Robert, I turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. And you said it all. Okay, thank you. I want to thank everyone who spoke tonight for speaking and bringing your concern to our attention. Patrick, thank you for this graph. You know, it's different when you see it in writing, well, in print, right? Now, I would tell you that I was one of the first mayors in the South Bay that wrote a letter in support of the South Bay COGS broadband initiative. This was a few years ago. Now, I don't know where we are with that, but I'm all on board with the broadband because I want to see reliable internet service throughout the whole city. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Dr. Osborne, thank you for the update on Metro. You're always on top of it. Where is she? She's out here?
She's right there.
Okay, there you go. I see your hand. Okay. Amber, thank you for bringing up the park safety and the fact that the parks are closed at night. Thank you for bringing that up. Because, you know, we'll work on those issues because we want to make sure our parks are safe for young people and for families alike. So we want to thank you for bringing that up. Also, Light Phillips, thank you for accessible science. And yes, please work with our department, our community, what is it called?
Community Service?
Community Service Department, and the library, yeah, to do workshops. And congratulations on starting your nonprofit. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah, give her a round of applause. Kwan, thank you for mentioning starting the police department. I am interested in looking at the possibilities of that. Matthew, thank you for bringing up the bereavement funds. We'll look into that. And Ms. Owens, thank you for being at the Metro meeting. Annette, we know you and Dr. Holly Osborne has been very involved in that, as well as Chesley. So we want to thank you guys for that as well. Let me see, I think I had another one. Let's see. Okay, no, that's all I want to cover. All right, thanks everyone for your comments. That closes public comments and comments from the council. Let's move our agenda. Okay. That's public comment. We do have the consent calendar, 4 through 7.
If there's no comments or additions, I'll make a motion to accept as written.
Okay. So the motion's been made by Kearney that we approve the consent calendar, which also includes the Lawndale Public Finance Authority.
I second it.
It's seconded by Talavera. Any discussion on the motion?
I will have to abstain on the meeting calendar, but I don't know if we could split it so I could vote on
The meeting calendar?
Yeah, the meeting calendar. I was in here, the minutes.
Oh, the minutes.
Yeah.
No, she'll just make a note of it. She can make a note of it, yeah. Okay. So what's the,
You gotta vote.
Got to do roll call?
yeah, yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas is abstaining from
The minutes, and yes on the
And yes
Yes.
on the rest?
rest.
Thank you. Councilmember Suarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera?
Yes.
Mayor Cullen Miles?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
With the exception noted.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Okay, the next item is a public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I'll do this item in council. We're gonna withdraw this item, bring it back at a notice, renotice it. The Daily Breeze didn't get it in time. We have to do a 10-day notice. Unfortunately, they shorted it by 1 day. So we'll bring it back in the next 2 weeks for reconsideration and renotice it.
Okay.
So you have to renotice it?
Yes, we have to renotice it.
Okay. Okay. So that's 8, right?
Mhm.
Okay, let's move on to item 9. is the annual accounting of Lawndale Public Financing Authority.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the annual, basically accounting of the Lawndale Public Financing Authority. It's as required. This was brought up back in 2009 where a bond was needed. A bond was issued in November 2009 for $20,545,000. And this was issued to basically do some capital improvement projects. So as of June 30, 2025, the balance is $16,365,000. The debt service of $1,294,700 in FY 24-25 has been paid, and those funds come from the successor agency reimbursed by the ROS. In 25-26, there's going to be a payment for $1,293,937, and that's included in the approved annual ROPS to be received from the successor agency during the year. And total remaining balance is $16,365,000 and $10,966,000 in interest. That concludes my report. This is just a receive and file. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions of this report? Do we need a motion to receive and file? Okay, we will receive and we will file it. Thank you, sir. Let's move on to item 10. Amendment to the salaries and benefits resolution for the central management.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. For your consideration this evening is an approval of the first amendments to the schedule of salary and benefits resolution for central management employees and the citywide pay schedule for fiscal year 2025-2026. The amendment to the salary and benefit resolution will provide for a 6%, 5%, and 4% salary increase to be spread over the next 3 years, with the first increase effective upon approval. $150 increase to longevity pay and add a new tier, a 15-year tier at $900 annually, as well as a $250 increase to the deferred compensation match program, as well as the new language regarding the end-of-year holiday closure, consistent with those changes made during the contract negotiation with AFSCME. The total cost to implement this agreement for the fiscal year 2025 is $86,067, which would require a budget amendment. Should council approve this amendment, this will also trigger the need to approve and adopt an amendment to the 25-26 citywide salary and pay schedule. Staff respectfully recommends the City Council adopt Resolution CC 2509-043, amending the salary and benefits for central management employees, and Resolution CC 2509-044, amending the citywide salary and pay schedule for fiscal year 25-26, and approve a budget amendment in the amount of $86,067 for the salary and benefits adjustment. Staff is available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions on this item?
Now, I'll motion to approve staff's recommendation.
The motion has been made by Cuevas,
I'll second it.
second by Kearney. Second by Kearney. Any debate on the motion? Okay, will the council please vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas?
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera?
Yes.
Mayor Colon Miles?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, let's move on to Measure M. Measure 11.
Measure M, okay.
Yeah, regarding Measure M, funding agreement for the Redondo Beach Boulevard Active Transportation Project.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. This item is for the project Redondo Beach Metropolitan Transportation Authority project. It's active transportation MAT, and basically it's bike lanes from Redondo Beach all the way to the college on Manhattan Beach Boulevard. The whole reason of being here today is originally there was an agreement between the county and the Transportation Authority, where the county was the main force driving the project for the design portion of 15%, which was Part A. Now, because the majority of the improvements are in the city of Redondo Beach, there's a new agreement where Redondo Beach is taking the main, the wheel here and driving the project. I spoke with the Redondo Beach today. They are ready to move forward pending the approval of our portion of the agreement, and they will continue design. They're ready to continue the project. There's no cost to the city for doing anything, any changes to the agreement. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Okay, are there any questions of the staff before we open up for public comment? Okay, thank you. Let's hear from the public on this item. Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Councilpersons, Sylvia. Pleasure to be here. My name is Christopher Coons. People call me Rod. I'm the president of the South Bay Bicycle Coalition. We've been in existence for about 20 years. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're advocating for completion of the bike master plan and bike education. Those are our main tenets and focus, of which we work at on a daily basis with our combined membership of about 1,500 members. We're at this point in time about 30% approved, implemented on the bike master plans that were approved in many cases unanimously about 12 to 13 years ago. And this is a banner program with the Redondo Beach Metro Activity Transit, and is an important route because it is not just sharrows. It is a class 4, which means they are dedicated bike lanes to get to from Manhattan, from Redondo Beach to El Camino College, which is about 3.3 miles, which could take as little as 20 minutes. So it makes a big difference, is competitive with typical transportation channels, averaging about 22 miles an hour if you're in a car. In a bike, e-bike perhaps, 20 miles an hour, not that far apart. And really, when you consider that a new car today is $1,075 a month, it'll make a lot of difference for a lot of people that say, I would like to get educated, albeit it's expensive if I have to buy a car, so they can't. So an e-bike makes a difference. So e-bikes are selling at about 300% per year. So they are adapting quickly because they make sense. So the question really for the City Council is the fact that the design completion is 15% today. Over the next 3 months, we'll start to move to 60 to 75% design completion. And that design completion, for example, in Lawndale specifically, right now includes sharrows. Sharrows, in many people's opinions, aren't worth the paint that are used to designate them, because over 30 miles an hour.
Go ahead and wrap it up for me.
I'll be quick. Over 30 miles an hour, the potential of a fatal accident is 50%. So we're suggesting that Lawndale may be more active on the design phase to start to look at designated bike lanes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi there. I'm here tonight to advocate for the Redondo Beach Metro Active Transit Project. Specifically for this, this project is designed to bring communities together. Those communities being Lawndale, Redondo Beach, Torrance, and El Camino College, and Alondra Park. People in these areas would like to have safe access to many amenities, specifically El Camino College and Alondra Park. I know that the mayor here has stated that his daughter goes to El Camino College, and so having a safe route for those people, especially considering that Alondra Park and El Camino College garner younger people, they need to be treated with an extra layer of security and safety. So I'd like to advocate for this body to install Class 4 protected bike lanes on this route. This would ensure the safety of those very vulnerable road users from these fast-moving vehicles. This street is 40 miles an hour currently, and me, as a very active cyclist, feel very unsafe taking this route. And this is actually, unfortunately, the safest route that I can take to get to church right now, which is, I guess it's a good thing that I can go to church and thank God that I made it to there, and then pray to God that I can make it home every day, every Sunday. This is currently in the 15% mark of phase completion, and this is the portion where we can make some changes without it being significant cost changes and changes in design. Those changes have to come from you. They can't come from Redondo Beach or anyone else. You have to advocate for them. Do this for your residents. Do this for these vulnerable road users. I would like you not to think about someone like me riding on this road, but think about your daughter. Think about the 12-year-old girl that wants to go to Alondra Park to go take swim lessons, and her mom tells her she doesn't have the time to drive her there, but that she can ride her bike there. If we're telling them that this is going to be a safe route for them to get there, we should make it a safe route. We shouldn't just say, oh, we did this thing for you, but it's painted bike lanes or sharrows that are not going to protect that young lady if a car drifts off slightly and they're texting, they don't see that they're drifting off the road. I'd really had hoped that the Redondo Beach would have someone here today, especially considering that I sent notice that this should be the case back to Public Works on August 27th. So I don't really understand why we don't have Redondo Beach, the leading agency, having someone here, considering they had very, very advanced notice of it. But I really do hope that we can get the questions answered or get you the answers to the questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Dr. Grace Pang. I'm a climate scientist and mother from North Redondo Beach. And I'm also the Natural Resources Director for League of Women Voters, LA County, and for the beach cities. I see in your agenda packet that you don't have the letter that League of Women Voters Torrance area, League of Women Voters Beach Cities, and League of Women Voters LA County all wrote you a letter over the summer advocating for the very safest bike route possible between Redondo Beach and El Camino. And I will send that to you forthwith. But I just want to say that California guarantees children the right to a free and appropriate education. And for a lot of children, including my teenage self, that meant concurrent enrollment. And I feel very strongly that you shouldn't have to risk your life, and you shouldn't have to, your parents shouldn't have to buy you a car so that you can get a free and appropriate education. Because that just creates inequality. And a lot of these classes are in the evenings, and people are driving with the sun in their eyes, or they might have had some drinks at happy hour. And with a 40-mile-per-hour road and just a door zone painted bike lane, you get hit by inattentive. At 40 miles per hour, you only have a 10% chance of surviving. And even if you survive, you're never going to college. So I urge you, it's at 15% design completion. There's still time for you to do class 1 and class 4 bike lanes and bike routes so that kids can access an appropriate education without dying and without undue economic burden to their families. And I also want to add that selfishly, every family whose children can go to El Camino without buying a car, that's one less car that's cluttering up your streets. I know parking is very difficult here. Traffic is very difficult here. And if people are in a separated bike lane or bike path, then they're not driving in front of you and they're not competing with you for parking spaces. They're not tearing up your city asphalt that you spend millions of dollars repaving. It's not just a good thing to do socially, but it's also a good thing for your pocketbook as a city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm a Lawndale resident and a cyclist. And I would love to see more bicycle infrastructure in Lawndale. And I know that there's some coming. There's some bike lanes on the way. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about the LTN. And in past city council meetings, I believe Bernadette Suarez has brought up the possibility of funding those projects with Measure M funding. And if I understand this agenda item correctly, Measure M is funding this phase, so at no cost to Lawndale. And as the others have mentioned, the corridor, transportation corridor is a great idea. It goes from El Camino College through Lawndale into Redondo. And from my point of view, it seems kind of easy because the part that passes through Lawndale is partially there. Like there is a bike lane through a portion of it. And this project overall is bridging those gaps and making that bike lane, bringing it up to the standard of the rest of the corridor. So as it's no cost to Lawndale, I think you should do it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the first that I'm hearing about this bike lane, but I think it's a good idea. Okay, all right, sorry. All right, thought that was for me. And I'm saying this because I know that there are quite a few students who ride their bikes, and it is really dangerous. And there's a bike lane that's just a bunch of stripes on Manhattan Beach Boulevard that scares me to death. And so even though my husband walks to work from Lawndale to TRW, there is a horrible story of a good friend of mine whose husband was an avid biker, and he was killed on his way to work. He was just riding his bike from Redondo Beach to TRW, which is right there near the corner of Manhattan Beach and Inglewood Boulevard. So I am scared to death of having my husband ride his bike. I'm super scared to have, frankly, any young person. But if these bike lanes are safe, that would be a game changer. I'm not sure exactly how that's set up. I can't envision that in my head. Like I said, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. But my one question is, well, two. One is, where are these bike lanes? And number two, who can be in them? So we've got people who are coming, for instance, to the row, and they're zooming up and down the grass on their e-bikes. Are they, because what if if there's those e-bikes and then 12-year-old kids on their little bikes, can you walk? Can you scooter? Can you skate? I don't know. That's a mix that might be a little dangerous. I just want to know what the rules are and where the bike paths are. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, was that the end of the staff presentation? The staff have anything they want to follow up on?
Yeah. Unless you have any questions, this presentation is only for signing the new agreement.
Okay.
to change.
Thank you. Let's hear from Cuevas.
Do you know why we're not doing the same thing that Redondo and
Absolutely.
the past city?
Yes. And I'm going to concentrate only at this for the city of Lawndale. The current general plan shows only these class 2 bicycle lanes, and our South Bay bike master plan also shows type 2 bicycle lanes. The type 2 is the one striped, which, by the way, currently they are in place already. We have them there. This project is bringing it up to standards, which is green paint. You may have seen some of the new ones. That's what the project is doing through Lawndale, making ours, bringing it up to the next standard.
So in order to be the same, we have to amend the general plan, or what do we have to do to keep the same or do the same?
We will have to not necessarily amend it. That is something that was created back when. It has to do a lot with the geography, if you would, of the street, not geography, but the dimensions, etc. There's areas through Redondo, for example, that it goes through small streets and parks.
Right.
In our city, it goes through one of the main arterials. We would just have to give our comments when the design begins again. We can provide any comments we want.
Are we able to bring it back so that maybe we could think of doing the same thing Redondo is doing?
I mean, Mayor, Council, we can look into this, work with the city attorney's office and bring it back, and Lucha do a little bit more research on this and look at the upgrades to the different types of bike lanes. But what Lucha's mentioning, it's under our general plan and also our master bike plan, but that doesn't mean that we can't come back and revisit it, and when we submit comments, get direction from the council, re-agendize it, and get comments from you to bring back to the lead agency, and tell them that we would like to see upgrades.
Because it would be nice if it's seamless. If you're a bike rider, you don't want to just go have it one way and then you get to the next city and, oh, no, it's a different route or a different type of lane. That's what I would like to see, if we could do it seamless where, the rider doesn't have to be concerned of watching so much to the right or the left of them.
So when you say bring it back, the measure before us tonight is simply to make Redondo Beach the lead agency. We can obviously do that at a certain point.
Yeah.
Because this is the opportunity, although I'm in favor of doing exactly what you're saying, but there's the opportunity to do that as well. This is that's separate though from this.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And then one other comment, I was at a COG meeting last week, and a Redondo Beach council member kind of brought up the same thing. Why aren't the cities coordinating better? Or he felt the cities could coordinate better with these types of plans, because he was commenting how he was going with his daughter and a friend and trying to use the bike paths, and some of them fell off, and then you're like, how do we get there? And you're going long routes. So maybe how can we have better communication with neighboring cities when these big projects are coming, and advocating for kind of a collective good, if you will say.
That is the idea right now. On the next phase is taking it from there.
Okay. So obviously we'll be aware when the design phase comes, and then we'll be able to participate and do exactly what we want to do. Because I'm in favor of having, of course, the class 4, the protective lanes or what have you. I wouldn't say I'm an avid bike rider, but I ride my bike pretty frequently, and that's the route I use on Manhattan Beach. When I pass the Laundry Park, I'm actually going to the Laundry Park.
Wait, Redondo Beach?
Yeah, Redondo on Boulevard. And yeah, that is dangerous, right? Sometime I go down Artesia, which is a little better, but because there's a wide curve there, so you can actually ride your bike on the curve, although it's illegal to do so. But, but you know.
We're gonna ticket you.
But you get my point, right? So let me entertain a motion on this item, if we're finished with
I'll make the
discussion.
motion.
I'll second
So a
that.
motion been made by Suarez and seconded by Cuevas that we adopt this recommendation, making Redondo Beach the lead agency. Madam City Clerk, any discussion on the motion? Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney,
Yes?
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Aye.
Councilmember Calavera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Miles,
Yes,
motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Okay. Let's move on to 12, Metro Final Environmental Impact Public Comment Outreach.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. The item is a public outreach for the Metro Final EIR. Metro released the final EIR last week, and with the release of the final EIR, the expected path is public review. Afterwards, it would go to the Metro's Planning and Programming Committee, and then eventually for the board for comments. So the Metro Ad Hoc Subcommittee met and recommended that the City Council send out a mailer and a flyer to the residents near the Metro right-of-way along the southwest quadrant of the city. Attachment A and B, or 1 and 2, shows the general area where the outreach mailers will reach, and the draft mailers once we get more exact dates for Metro. There isn't in a budget any money in the community development budget, so this action for the council's consideration includes a budget amendment of approximately $3,000 for the mailers, the production of the flyers. Staff is available to answer any questions.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was distracted.
Staff is available to answer any questions. The part that it may require a budget amendment of $3,000.
I do have a question.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
After Pat.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm not in favor of giving any more money to flyers over there. I know we did flyer after flyer after flyer, and this $3,000 could be spent later down the road when we have to challenge the EIR. It's money well spent there instead of doing the flyers. We sent out flyers. I talked to several people at the Metro meeting on Sunday, and they said the flyers get to the residents and they just throw them away. It's just a waste of $3,000. I think the word of mouth that your group's doing down there is better than flyers, and I think this $3,000 will be well spent later on when we start challenging the EIR. That's my
Okay, Cuevas.
My question is, it's only that area that you have on the exhibit, or is it the entire city?
Just the southwest quadrant of the city.
I think we need to get the entire city involved, not just that area there. We need to make sure all of our residents know what's going on. Because it's only, yes, it's gonna affect them there, but it's gonna affect all of us in the sense that when they start the work, we're gonna get pollution that's gonna fly towards the east. So our residents need to know what's going on. I have a feeling a lot of our residents on the east side of Hawthorne have no idea what's going on. So if we're gonna do a flyer or something, it should be for the entire city.
I agree.
Yeah, same.
Sorry, it's just, we wanna educate everybody. I'm okay using some of the funds for this, because we need to educate everybody in the city.
Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of postage were you doing for it?
Mayor, council, I can answer that because I did the last two. So we're gonna definitely, if the council's direction is to notify the whole city, then we'll do that. Last time we sent out the 2 mailers, we all thought it wasn't as effective, but we certainly can do that. We'll probably have to ask for a budget amendment of about $10,000 now.
What
Because the
kind
mass,
of mail though?
we do
Postage?
bulk rate, I believe, we do, I have to check.
EDM?
We use our machines here, they use a bulk, we get a bulk
You
rate
could
permit.
probably get a better rate. I've done EDDM myself, the whole city. You could probably get it cheaper than that.
To be, just to be safe though, we need to at least allocate, because last time the mailers, I think they were about $6,000 to $7,000 when we sent them the first time. So if given, the change in, you know, the cost of everything, the printing cost, everything, if we could allocate 10 instead of 3, that would help us out, and then we can do the mailers, if the council would want to entertain that as well.
The last time, did we just do
We were doing citywide.
citywide or just that?
We did citywide. Yeah, because it's probably double, because we're only doing 1/4 section of the city, you have to include all 4 sections. Plus the businesses on all the Hawthorne and Artesia and Prairie, so we definitely will have more mailing going on.
Well, I'm
That
okay,
should cover our costs.
I'm okay with sending it to the whole city, because this is really a city issue, not just that quadrant. I mean, I live up the street from it, you know, and I use that green space all the time, but it's not just that quadrant of issue, it's a city issue.
I agree. I think
I
it's- yeah.
agree too. I just like to see that, and I understand, Councilmember Kearney's, decision about people just throw them away, but sometimes, you know, if it's not in their hands, you know, if people have something in their hands, they're likely to remember. I think we just need to make the flyer that we use not so mundane as every other flyer that's in the mail, you know, and I don't know if there's a design that we could use, some type of, maybe cutout, you know, where people will say, hey, well, this is different, you know, calling their attention right away to the information that's on the flyer. And that's not, that's not also like, 3 pages from a textbook, with all that text.
Yeah.
So something simple, something effective, and something unique, you know, then people really pay attention to it. And I'm okay, of sending to the whole city also, because, like I said, I at one point I did think, well, this is not my problem, but it is my problem. When Annette gave me, and Dr. Osborne gave me that wonderful tour of the row, it was, I mean, it just brought it to life. It brought it, you know, to really a deep understanding of what's gonna happen on the row, you know, and so, I just think we have to do what we have to do to wake up public engagement and attention to the situation that's happening, you know. Because I think even those that are not on the row or close to the row, we're not like, if we say that where we live, where I live, like it's not going to affect me. Well, it'll affect me when I try to cross Inglewood Avenue and Manhattan Beach, but you know, so it affects us all. So I just think the better and the most outreach we can do is probably the best bet.
You want to say something?
I was just gonna comment, I agree. If you make the message more simple, don't overdo it, because then people are gonna get lost in the text. You just need a few key words. The graphics need to be good, and then you can even do it oversized too, so it's a lot bigger. But it does have to be just something. You can even probably put a little code, one of those scan QR codes that takes you to like a page that shows more information. But I think it needs to be sent to the whole city.
Okay. Thank you. Let's hear from the public. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Rhonda Hoffman-Gorman, City of Lawndale. To piggyback on what all of you are just talking about right now, Councilmember Talavera, I absolutely agree that something has to be done. So I appreciate your comment. My concern, when you start saying it's not going to impact you, my bigger concern are the people on the west side of the city and emergency services and the interruption, and how are they going to get, how is Station 21 going to get those emergency vehicles to those people on the west side of the tracks? And that is huge in my book. Council, I don't know if you, I didn't hear any of you mention, but on the previous mailer that we did, we didn't just send it out to the residents of Lawndale, we also included the property owners. And that was huge, because if you remember right, when we walked into the back office, we had stacks of return mail because our property owners hadn't updated their property records as to their new addresses. But we did know that we had reached hundreds of them. So because we are so heavily populated with renters, it's important too that we reach those property owners. The last thing I would like to bring up is that it's not just about the mail, it's also social media presence that we have to target in on this. That's also huge for those young people that don't look at the mail and throw it away. So I think it's altogether, it's about getting the word out in many different forms, but please consider the property owners as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, of course, I agree with everything that everyone said, and I think that what Councilmember Suarez said about the QR code is absolutely essential. And I remember the flyer or card from last time, and it wasn't as punchy. It wasn't like, hey, this is happening, you need to wake up. That's the kind of graphic we need. And now that our group has been doing this for a long time, we would like to offer our working with the city or even helping to design it, because we've been so involved. A QR code has to be on there. It has to be simple, snappy, and bilingual. So.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I do have one question, because I know, for example, when we had a ballot measure put on, the way that we presented the information had to be a certain way. Even though we took a position as a council, the information that we sent had to be. So are there restrictions regarding the flyer and how it's presented?
There's not, there are far fewer restrictions here. You can't use city funds to what's called electioneer to urge one result or the other. In something like this, you're essentially urging people to get out, review this, and make their comments, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay, so you saying, Mr. City Manager, that you want to allocate $10,000?
Yeah, based on the comments I just heard, so we're gonna have to really put some work in staff time and design a little, mass mailing card to all the businesses in the entire city, and residents and rental and everyone.
What is the pleasure of this body concerning this item?
I'll motion to approve not to go more than 10,000. And if it is, please bring it back.
Email citywide.
Email citywide plus owners.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion been made by Cuevas and second by Talavera. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
No.
Councilmember Cuevas?
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera?
Yes.
Mayor Plon Miles?
Yes.
The motion passes with Mayor Pro Tem Kearney voting no.
Okay, let's move on to traffic management plan budget. Item 13.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to add the budget for the traffic management plan. Every year, the city budgets $80,000 for the traffic management plan, which is used for various street projects related to maintenance and repairs. Last year, it was used for street striping, painting, traffic study reviews, parking signs, road analysis, and reflective tape. In FY 24-25, almost 68,000 of the 80,000 budget was used, and therefore staff is asking for 80,000 to be added to the budget, and these funds will come from Prop C, so there is no impact to the general fund. So we're seeking 80,000 to be a budget appropriation from Prop C funds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on this item? Okay, what's the pleasure? Just
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Kearney, second by Suarez. Any discussion on the motion? Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney,
Yes?
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera,
Yes.
Mayor Paul Miles,
Yes,
motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Item 14, approve a contract service agreement for a youth development center.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jason Minner, Community Services Director. If you recall, back in February, the council approved conceptual design for the Youth Development Center and Skate Park project as part of Phase 1. We are now looking at Phase 2. An RFP was launched back in June. It closed in July. Included in your staff report is a summary of the 3 proposals that were received. Staff are making the recommendations to award a contract services agreement for $475,000 to BOA for this Phase 2 conceptual, or the Phase 2 design, which will include the creation of construction documents and allow us to move forward with the project. The estimated timeline is about 13 months, as indicated in the staff report, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have them.
Okay, any questions?
Why did we pick BOA Architecture? I know they're the lowest one and we wanna, but is there a big, what was the difference between the 475 and 677? Was there
The RFP review process, there was a lot of criteria that were established. The review committee each looked at them independently and gave more points to BOA for a variety of things. Some of the things that were taken away points-wise from Albert Group were related to errors in the proposal, whether it be just typos or miscalculations, things like that. I think the committee all agreed that that attention to detail wasn't what it needed to be for a project of this type of importance to the city. Other things, it was about familiarity, the types of projects, the sub-consultants that would be working on the project as well, and obviously cost had, a key role in that decision as well.
Did anyone from the city of Lawndale apply? Any business from?
Not that,
No.
no. We notified, I think about 15 different companies at the start, and only the 3 proposals, none of which were from London.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, what is the pleasure of this body concerning this item?
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion was moved to approve by Kearney and second by Cuevas. Any discussion on the motion? Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney,
Yes?
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera,
Yes.
Mayor Paul Miles,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Item 15, adoption of a policy and guide to regulate the mayor and council members' use of discretionary funds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll kind of walk through this. The council had asked for us to come back with a discretionary funds policy to clarify what exactly the council can use the funds for, and why. What we did was work with city staff to go back and do about a 10-year survey of what council members have used funds for in the past. We gave a brief look at those to make sure that everything met the California Constitution's prohibition against gifts of public funds. So far, I didn't see any problems. And then we crafted a policy that basically puts expenditures from the discretionary funds in 4 categories. The first is support of an event, either in the city or in a nearby jurisdiction that does contribute positively to the residents. That's not a gift of public funds because you are either providing something directly for the community or which is giving a benefit to the community. The second would be to recognize a Lawndale resident or group on either a special occasion or in memorial, which again provides good community feeling, and that's been said to be sufficient to not be a gift of public funds. The third is for sponsorship of or membership in community groups or relevant governmental groups by council members, or for items that will support them in the exercise of the governmental duties. And those items, whether they're sponsorships or physical items in kind of group 3, are authorized off the top without having to come back and ask or anything, if it's something that comes up for a council member that isn't budgeted for the year. Council member gets something new, wants to act quickly to attend a meeting, attend a conference, join a group. discretionary funds may be used for that. It doesn't stop the council member from taking more time to come back and see if it can be budgeted, but if the council member wants to act quickly, they can act without going back to the group. And then the fourth one is for general betterment of the Lawndale community. And you can see in the staff report what some of those have been. The thing about item number 4, and I think it's sort of what the council has done in the past, it's the miscellaneous one, where if it's something that's never come up before, then you'll ask city staff, and staff will wind up asking our office. So in this number 4 catch-all, we'll keep following that policy, but what we wanted to do was lay out areas that are so clear we know you can use them so that our office doesn't have to get involved any more than is necessary. That's what we have right now. If you'd like to make any changes, please feel free to do so. We also state in the policy, just as a matter of background, that these are funds that you as the council allocate each year to each council member. They don't roll over. Again, if those are things that want to be changed in the future, it's easy enough to change a policy in the same manner that you've done in the past. If you have any questions, I'm here. Otherwise, I'll take your direction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the report. Any discussion on this item? If not, I entertain a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made to approve it by Mr. Pat Kearney, second by Shirley Cuevas. Any discussion on the motion? Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas?
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera?
Yes.
Mayor Plum Miles?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, let's hear from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. The last couple of weeks, about a week or two, we've been getting a lot of comments from our residents concerning the Green Line, the K Line, C Line, whatever Metro's calling it. I wanted to assure the council, mayor, and the residents that staff are working hard on the project. We're looking at every corner, around every corner, under everything that they provided. We're looking at the final EIR. We did find some interesting things that they inserted that Metro did not tell us, that they said they weren't going to do. They've done the opposite. So I just wanted everyone to know that we're working hard with our legal counsel and with the mayor and council to address those issues. And once we're notified from Metro, the day of the meeting, we'll all be down there. And I just want to remind everyone that this council and mayor have provided buses. So just keep in touch with us and we'll let you know. I think Chelsea is setting up the buses, but the council and mayor have graciously provided the funding for the buses. So just keep in touch with my office. But again, I just want to assure everyone, we are working diligently. I know everybody's concerned and upset, but rest assured that where we're headed, we're definitely going to set things right with Metro. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving along, items from council members. Item 16, Good Neighbor Program.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and distinguished members of the City Council. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you this evening. The staff report you have before you is a City Council member item that was suggested at a previous meeting regarding the creation of a neighborhood cleanup program in which volunteers would do light cleaning and property maintenance at homes in the City of Lawndale for residents that are elderly or disabled or that are otherwise unable to maintain their property regularly. It was suggested that this program be operated and managed by the Beautification Committee, which is under MSD. As this council knows, the Beautification Committee meets once a month, with the most recent meeting on September 11th, Thursday last week. That meeting came after the time that this agenda item was due. But since that meeting occurred, I do have some information on what they are requesting. Beautification Committee would like to do residential properties only. They are open to including volunteers, but prefer to use community members only. This would occur once or twice a year. Some of the work that they would like to do would be to paint the trim on homes, cut grass, and do general landscaping. And they do prefer to call the program the Lawndale Beautification Committee Home Cleanup Program. At this time, we had compiled the estimated cost of about $2,500 for equipment. At this time, though, we are still considering costs for liability because the committee members are technically staff. They are covered in the event that they get hurt while doing the work. However, if they were to break a sprinkler head or damage some part of the private property, there could be liability costs, so we're still looking into those. At this point, staff is just looking for direction from the council and any considerations that you have to include into this while we gather more information. And I'm available for any questions.
Can we hear from the public clerks?
It's a question.
Okay.
Yeah. I I was made aware that this apparently already was a program and it stopped.
This was a program about 10 years ago, prior to my arrival here, so I'm only learning a little bit about that before. One of the reasons that ended then, though, was because of liability, was a concern. Well, what would happen if we
Did it come
damaged
to the
properties?
council for discussion?
Was that through the redevelopment agency, perhaps?
I was
think-
just told it was through
I think it was through the
MSD.
redevelopment agency. And when they did away with
Potentially
redevelopment
then?
agency, it went away.
Yeah, this would have been about 10 years ago, though, prior to my arrival. So, yeah, the similar program was in effect, and it would be to focus on needy residents rather than people who just don't want to mow their lawns and things like that. We would go through typical enforcement for things like that. But anybody who's elderly or disabled or otherwise has trouble maintaining their property, this would be focused for them.
Now, let me ask you this, because you said elderly. Does that mean just because you're elderly, you qualify, even though you may be sitting on a load of cash? I'm not saying elderly people are. Let's say you're sitting on a load of cash,
Yeah.
right? And you just want to get,
Part of the reason that residential properties are considered only because commercial properties are typically wealthier and they're not really living there, so it would be there would be parameters we'd have to establish. And that would still be guidelines we're going to create. Probably the potential cost, the reasons why that person can't do their things. We could probably ask for an application to have people fill out to make sure they qualify.
Yeah.
So all that's still being considered, but staff just wants to confirm that council is still interested in this program and wants to move forward with it.
let's hear from the public. Thank you for your report.
All right, good evening. My name is Joshua Gorman, one of the members of Lawndale's Beautification Committee. I do have a couple questions about this service. I feel like I was given some context about why the program went away to begin with. One of my concerns about recruiting volunteers is we are already struggling as it is as a committee to try to, make sure that we hold quorum and making sure members are in regular attendance. And the majority of us as members on the beautification committee are still relatively new, gauging things out. So I feel like this is kind of a lot to take on. On top of that, when it goes to volunteers, I'm assuming that there would be a waiver that would have to be signed by our volunteers to acknowledge, hey, if something gets damaged on this person's property, that's a risk that needs to be waived by the city. And another thing that I personally would like to ask is that when we're creating this program, I would like to see that whether it be relatives of elected officials in the city or things of that nature, that we exclude them also from that conversation, just to help keep things neutral with the beautification committee on doing efforts and trying to help out with our community. I would also like to hope that our elected officials take it upon themselves with their family to maintain their properties as well when looking into this service.
Okay.
Especially since we're talking about code violation and whatnot.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, we'll definitely draft some guidelines.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
thought behind it was for maybe those, I know, like, for example, when I've gone walking in community, there's been people complaining and it's overgrown, and I'm like, I've seen videos where sometimes you see, like, they're elderly, they can't, or maybe they don't have family. There's family members too that they just leave their elderly to, pass and then only come around when they're, so it's to help the community. Totally okay with excluding, members of the city council and their family, and any beautification members as well, like any of those that hold the power, to be excluded from that. The thought was to help with, those, those that are in need.
Okay,
And I'm okay with the beautification committee requests as well. And then, the other question is, I know we're looking to liability, but I think we should be able to resolve a lot of that if you have a waiver signed, like with the property owner and whatnot.
Mayor, council, we can look into, finalize that. There's several actions here if you guys want to entertain it tonight. And then staff, we can work with risk management. We're coming up with waivers and all the other requirements. And look at the past program, what we've done in the past as well. Oh, also, we probably want to include the parkways. This would be a good opportunity to use the parkways.
Yes. Okay, so I'll make the motion.
I have a question.
Oh.
Here, I have a question.
When we do this, we're gonna have some kind of oversight that, let's say, Howard Hughes here he dressed like a slob, but he had tons of money. You get your yard cleaned up the first time. Is there gonna be some kind of way to document that he already had his yard cleaned up? So 2 weeks later, he don't file again, is there gonna be a limitation, on time limitation?
Yeah, how many times?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And we can create all the parameters that the council would like to have, and we can also include the guidelines from the beautification committee. As Josh was saying, we don't want to overwhelm the committee. They are involved in so many other things as well, with the cleanup and with the National Night Out and Pet Fair. They'll come to those events as well. So this would probably be limited to once or twice a year, but we could certainly record who's already had the service, and they would go to the bottom of the list for the next, so somebody else would get it. We wouldn't go to the same house every time.
Would it be more if we hire our current company, gardeners, to, you know, well, but
Add-on service.
they could give us a discount because we're doing something for the elderly. So we could probably add it to some type of fund that we might have out there, a grant or something.
If there were grant funds available, that would probably pass legal muster. If we're just talking general funds, now we're getting into that gift of public funds area, where something that would otherwise be a code violation, if taken care of by volunteers, is perfectly fine, with some small measure of city help, but not like fully funding.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna suggest, why don't we move it as is, and then, if needed, we can figure that part out.
Mayor and Council, we can come up with program guidelines.
Yeah.
And develop nice guidelines with the beautification committee, and then also just pop those back to you guys too as well.
That's fine.
Bernadette?
I just wanted to add to the criteria, the thought is that it's a house that maybe has gone way overgrown, and then you help them with the initial, which is gonna be a lot more, and then the maintenance part of it, they can handle, like, please, keep
Right,
it
there
up.
won't be any construction, any
Yeah.
kind of skilled labor happening. It'll just be basic cleanup, removal of trash, things like that. And we can also get assistance from Public Works and from Republic to pick up the trash for us.
Okay, this is a question for our legal counsel. The program that Robert put on for the rebates, let's say beautification went out and bought bags from one of our local hardware stores or whatever, are they entitled to get that rebate back?
Well, if they pay for it, yeah,
Well, I mean, if the beautification pays for it,
No.
is the city?
Yeah, I would say if individual members paid for it, they would be, but the city was not, city funds, I don't believe, were part of that program. I think it had to be.
I just wanted to say that I think the ideal is great, and in doing so, I think we should presume positive intentions to begin with. Definitely there are people out there that are always looking to abuse the system, but if we're here saying that we want to help, let's just help, and if we're, reading the report here, we're talking about volunteers, and then we're talking about overtime for public works staff, who's going to do it, and then the cost of just $2,500. If a public works staff member is working overtime, that money's going to be eaten up very soon. So I would say it definitely is a program that we want, and I think it needs to be vetted out. Like what can be, is there a menu of items that we're going to say these are the items that are available, for the city. I do have one resident talk to me almost every time that I see the person, and saying the city wants me to do this, but look, and I know she had hip replacement, she has a knee replacement, she can barely walk, and she said I don't have any money, and Frank, I don't know what the city wants me to do, and just based on her situation, I would say this would be a program that would benefit her, but it's like, like I said, let's not kill our intention with a bunch of rules to begin with, and if 2,500 is all you're asking for, well, sorry, I'm not a penny pincher, I would say let's start with 5,000, so we can service those that really need the help.
Of course, and staff can come back with a better number. Like I said, we do want to look into liability costs should we damage something unintentionally, like sprinklers or something as we're mowing the lawn, or if we paint the wrong color or something like that. So we definitely want to look into what it would cost should we have to make corrections. Currently, Public Works does all public works on public land, so if we break anything, we pay for it anyway, but this is us on private property, and this would be volunteers on that. So we do have to look into the, I can give you a much more accurate price when I bring this back, but I just wanted to make sure the council wants us to move forward with this. But Beautification Committee is excited about it, but we don't want to overwhelm them because they are already working quite a bit.
All right, what is the pleasure of this item for this body?
I make a motion that we move forward.
Motion been made by Cuevas, by Suarez to move forward with this item.
Second
Second by
Cuevas.
Cuevas. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, will the council please vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
I have one question. Are we voting on A, B, and C, or is it three different selections?
A.
To bring it back.
No, we're not voting to bring it back. We're voting on the item itself.
I thought we were bringing it back to find out.
We're
what-
bringing it back with the criteria. No?
No, we don't need to do that. Let's just vote on it. And then
Okay.
with the
5,000
criteria.
for the cleanup.
So move it from 25 to
Yeah.
5? I'll second that. Chief.
Okay, so the motion has been amended to $5,000.
Of course, that would be, I think, option 2 then.
Okay. Is that option 2?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
With a different
A
amount.
I don't see
different
a
amount
price
of funding.
associated with it.
Option B,
B.
excuse me.
B,
Then,
different amount.
let the beautification committee also.
does it say the amount here?
No, it says a
Top
different
line
amount.
is approved, annual funding, at
With the
2,500.
B.
Oh, with a different amount. Oh, it doesn't say what the different amount is. Well, let's say 5,000, so we don't have to bring it back. So we can bring it back and adopt the guidelines,
But
but
the
at least,
beautification committee also should have input on it.
yeah, but at least the program would have been adopted,
Yeah.
tonight.
Okay, is that good for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. City Attorney, is that okay? Is that motion okay? Okay.
Suarez.
Suarez,
Cuevas.
Cuevas. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none.
Mayor Pro Tem Kearney?
Yes,
Councilmember Cuevas?
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Talavera?
Yes.
Mayor Polo
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
I'll be first on my list.
You're excluded.
And then my garage cleaned out.
Same.
Okay.
That is good.
17 is reported attendance. Did you attend any meetings?
Too many. Once again, I just want to thank everyone for being here in person and also thank the viewers that are watching us by our social media platforms. First of all, and I know this is a trending topic, but I want to acknowledge the tragedy of a life taken for having an opinion or political view. You know, freedom of expression and the right to agree to disagree should not be challenged by any form of violence. And there's no place for violence in politics. So I just want us to encourage to always continue to have those good conversations, challenging conversations, and not take it to violence. So I just wanted to say that, and that's, for my opinion. I also wanted to express my sincerest condolences to former council member Rhonda Hoffman-Gorman for her and her family for the loss of her mom, that God give him the strength and the comfort during this time of loss. I know how precious it is to lose a mom, but instead of grieving the loss, just rejoice in the years that God gave you that blessing, right? Because it was a blessing. My mom passed at 83, and sometimes I was consumed in the grief, but then I got to thinking of those 83 years that she was with me. So my heart goes out to you at this time, and if there's anything that I could do, let me know. You're in my presence, you're in my thoughts, and that God give you the strength to move on. So the activities I had from the last meeting that we had canceled one, I went to lunch August 19th, and on the 28th, I also attended the Hawthorne State of the City. They had a fabulous presentation with Mayor Alex Vargas, and it was really nice. I hadn't been at the Hawthorne Pool in ages, so I got to see that, and they've been changed. It's changed a lot, and I don't remember who it was with, but they used to have a deep end pool, but it's not there. And I said, "You remember diving off that?" I says, "Yeah." I says, but it was good, and it was nice, and I was happy to be there. I also attended the Contract Cities Fall Education Conference in Oceanside. Got a lot of good information, and was able to network with a lot of people there, different council members from different cities, so it was very enjoyable. Also attended a mixer at ISMOA, hosted by ISMOA, but given by South Bay Social Network. Really good. A lot of agencies, different organizations, companies that attended there. And on Saturday the 13th, I attended La Raza, United for the Raza at Alondra Park, sponsored by United Riders Car Club. Happy to report that I showed up at the event. Everything was good. It was packed out. Show cars, low rider cars. There were about 100. Filled up Alondra Park. It was really good. The staff at the county, at the park, were very welcoming. So I enjoyed that, and then got to see the performances that were there. From there, I moved on to the Blues Festival, and was amazed at the turnout. And I want to just say thank you to Jason and his staff. It was great. It's not particularly my kind of music, but the music was pretty good. You know, maybe I'm a blues believer now, but it was good. And I just want to thank you for all your effort and your staff. Always enjoyable when I go to these festivals. Your staff is always accommodating, always friendly, and I want to thank you for that. And our TV men there also. Thank you for always asking me to give a little commercial. So the only caveat is that they got to make me look good. So he said, "Don't worry, we got you." So thank you. After the Blues, I left a little early, and I went to the ISMOA open house. Very delightful and engaging event. Again, I met one of the seniors, citizens that we have, 76 years old. She's an artist. She won a certificate of participation in the art exhibition that they had at El Camino a few months ago. And again, she was there and celebrating her successes, and it was a nice event also. And then on Sunday, I attended the community meeting sponsored by the South Bay Environmental Justice Alliance. Turnout was great. So I just wanted to thank Chelsea, Annette, and Dr. Osborne, the group, Patrick, all of you that worked together to put this event together. It was good. It was engaging, and just what I got to say is keep on keeping on. Okay. So, and today I attended the Senior Jazz It Up Luncheon. One of the performers was he from Saturday? Saturday came to the luncheon for the seniors, and seniors, they love to dance. And they were out there on the dance floor dancing it up, and that was good. So the last thing I want to finish up with is just to state that today is the start of National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I want to wish Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua happy Independence Day. Today is their day. Tomorrow is Mexico's Day, September 16th, and so I wish them happy Independence Day. And then Thursday, September 18th, I honor and celebrate our Chilean brothers from Chile, and that's their day. And September 21st is Belize. So I want to say that I was disappointed that the council chose to not move forward with our Hispanic Heritage Month Festival this year. But I believe in a cause, and I don't easily let things go. I'm like a pit bull. Once I bite onto something, I keep it. I keep my grasp on it until I find a way. So I did find a way. So I remain determined, and I am partnering with the South Bay Social Network, and we are going to present a Hispanic Heritage Festival Saturday, October 11th from 10 to 2 p.m. at Lawndale High School on the steps of the Performing Arts Center. So if you'd like to join us, we welcome you. If you'd like to help us out in any way, please come and talk to me. And soon we'll be distributing flyers for all of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I did also thank you, Councilmember Talavera, for bringing up what happened last week, which very tragic, and I strongly condemn violence. It really hit me hard, and I get emotional just talking about it. So, yeah. And then I did want to give my condolences to the Hoffman family. I was able to make it to the service. I was in the back, but Doris Hoffman was a formidable woman, very strong, and there was a silence. You know, hearing the news about her, she was just so strong, and I mean the whole family is strong, and I can see where the family gets it from. And so I just want to give my condolences, and I know her legacy lives on in her children, in her grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. So I just want to say she will be missed. And then as far as I attended last week, it wasn't actually a meeting because we didn't have a quorum because everybody was at other events, South Bay City Council of Government, but we did go over the presentations, and one of which was very interesting, which we're going to be starting, and I forget, we call it working groups. There's going to be an AI working group. Apparently, most cities in the South Bay are using AI in some capacity, whether it's little chat bots or whatnot to help with residents reaching out. So there's going to be a working group in which all the cities can explore how cities are making use of AI. So that one should be very interested. It was a lot of participation, or people were interested in participating in that. And then I did also have a chance to attend the Contract Cities fall seminar, or educational seminar. Okay, and there were some good speakers. One of the ones that I really liked was we had a person from the DA's office talking about complaints, and apparently they get a lot of complaints, and it kind of, I not that it's funny, but the way he was relaying it was that they constantly get from constituents, about the Brown Act, about certain things, and kind of the way that it goes, they never confirm whether they're investigating something and whatnot. And then also talked about how it goes into some kind of a queue, and then they kind of issue whether or not they're going to further investigate. I can't remember the specifics, but it was very interesting. And then he said that anybody can basically submit complaints, even council members and whatnot. The only one he said, which was interesting, I think, was city attorneys can't. But he was in the public, I forget which division. Do you remember the public? Integrity's office. Yeah, so it was very interesting stuff. Sometimes I go to those and they have a new speaker, and I learned some more information that I didn't know. So there were some other ones that were very interesting. And then, like Councilmember Talavera mentioned, it was good networking to meet. There was actually well attended. And then I'm trying to think. I think that was all I had. But yeah, so thank you, everybody.
Okay, Madam Cuevas.
Well, first, I want to thank staff and the Beautification Committee for another cleanup day. Sorry I did not participate because I thought it was next weekend too, and then I get the calendar on Thursday, and it was this past weekend, and I already had plans so that I couldn't cancel in the morning. Sorry about that. But I want to thank everybody that attended and participated, especially Lawndale High School students that were out there. And I realized that it was cleanup week because I saw the students walking around with their trash bags, 3 or 4 at the same time, down 147 and down Rosecrans. So thank you to those students. I did, when I attended Saturday's Blues Festival, I did have a resident that asked, why do we do both cleanup days in the north side of Lawndale? Why can't we just have a cleanup day on the south side of Lawndale? So if you guys could put that on your radar, beautification, to do half a year on one side and half a year on the other side, that would be great. Like I mentioned, I attended the Blues Festival. Thank you, staff, for a great festival. Jason, it was, at first I was a little worried because we only had a little group of maybe 25, 30, and then all of a sudden that blew up. People enjoyed it. I liked the acts in between the musicians. That was great. Staff was great too. Next year, let's try not to do it at the same time as the Alondra Park Car Show so that we could have some more cars in our area. I also attended the South Bay Environmental Justice Rally. Thank you for the group for putting this together. It was great that there was a translator and that was able to communicate to those that did not fully understand English. And I want to encourage you guys to continue pushing the programs and the rallies and things like that. Please reach out to me if you guys need help. I'm on board with you guys on whatever help I could do. And to the Hoffman-Gorman family, my deepest condolences. Just think of this, one door closed, but you guys got a beautiful addition to the family. So the strong female bond that Hoffman-Gorman has will continue. And with that, I pass it on.
Thank you. Sir, okay, it's your turn.
I attended with the mayor the House of Yahweh ribbon cutting ceremony on the 21st. I attended the Lawndale Cardinals versus Hawthorne football game at SoFi. It was beautiful. I don't think Hawthorne showed up. It was 77 to 6, like that. Lawndale, we're Lawndale.
Go Cardinals.
That's right. I attended the Hawthorne State of the City, Mayor Vargas. It was very nice. Again, Frank and I were talking about the old pool. I thought Frank was going to dive into the grass where the old pool used to be, but he decided not to do that. I attended my 55th year class reunion. Those people are old there. And they had a sign there with all the ones that passed. So they told me to make sure my name wasn't on there, so I looked, it wasn't on there. I attended the IGBO Day Culture Festival in Carson, which is Nigerian. They had some great food there. I enjoyed that. I attended the Library Trust in Oversight, which I always attend once a month. We gave money away. LA County West Vector, that's the mosquitoes. We all know about mosquitoes. Then I attended, for a short time, the 12th Annual Blues Festival. I stayed for the first group, but to be honest with you, my Trojans were on TV, so blues or Trojan football, well, I picked Trojan football. But I could hear it from my house. I also attended the South Bay Environmental Justice Alliance meeting. It was well attended. Chelsea and the you groups, ladies, put on a fantastic event. I was very proud of you. And I did attend both the services and the graveside services for Doris Hoffman. I reached out to Rhonda, Chad, and Ed. I'll miss the lady. When I first got on the Planning Park and Rec Commission in 2001, she asked me what my intentions was, and like Matt said, straight down, yes is yes and no is no. She was very blunt, but I'll miss her, but the legacy carries on with a new granddaughter. And with that, I turn it with you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yes. I understand about the assassination of Kirk, but let's not forget about 9/11.
Yeah,
It was 24 years ago. 3,000 people lost their lives there by a terrorist attack. So both my meetings, my library trust and my West Spectre, I had to remind them about that. I don't think I'll close with that.
Okay, thank you. So I was going to attend the cleanup day, but like everybody else, I was confused as to why it was on the same day as the jazz festival. And so I didn't have enough energy to do both, so I chose to go to the jazz festival, the blues festival. So I want to thank, and by the way, the weather was really nice. I can remember there were some years where it was extremely hot as you know what. And so that made a miserable day. But this year it was wonderful. I want to thank Jason and the Parks and Rec staff and commission for all the hard work they put into that festival, because it was beautiful. And the music was good too, by the way. I also attend, these are in any order. I also attend the Labor Day parade in Wilmington, the Hawthorne, the Hawthorne State of the City address. That was pretty good. The House of Yahweh. Was it an open house?
It was ribbon cutting.
I know it was a ribbon cutting because I cut the ribbon.
Yeah. Sharp scissors. Whoever stole those scissors.
Yeah. But I attended, so it was nice. I also attended the South Bay Environmental Justice Alliance Metro K line project opposition meeting. Right? It was a rally, right?
I called it a rally.
And there was 200 people there. Actually, 204, I believe, people there. And there was a lot of good speakers, including one of our former youth commissioners spoke. April Owens spoke. And she did an excellent job, as well as the rest of the speakers. I do want to give my condolences to the Hoffman family, to Rhonda Hoffman, her family. I had the honor to, I came up with the idea of First Lady Emeritus. And the council thought it was a great idea, so we adopted that policy and named her, your mother, Doris, the first Lady Emeritus, right? And we gave her a nice, certificate, because she stood by she not only stood by your husband, which was the mayor at the time. I'm talking to, in case you guys don't know who I'm speaking of. I'm speaking directly to Rhonda, which is one of our former colleagues, Rhonda Hoffman Gorman. But she was involved in the city just on her own. She was really involved on her own. And today when I went to the memorial service, the Reverend, he spoke about the fact that she wasn't shy. And a lot of the things that he shared about her, I was saying, yeah, I know that's to be true. I know that's to be true. And particularly that she was going to get her opinion across. I'm paraphrasing. He made it more animated, right, than I'm making it now. But she was really a jewel. And I want to, I pray for the Hoffman family that your strength be renewed. I met the new granddaughter for your mother's, the great-granddaughter. Okay, I met her, although she didn't meet me because she was asleep, right? So she was fast asleep. She was just a wonderful lady. I want to thank you for sharing, your family for sharing her all these years. And we're going to adjourn her memory tonight. So with that, I'll close my portion. And we got closed session. Madam, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Madam City Attorney.
We'll go into closed session under Government Code 54956.9D1 to discuss the City of Lawndale versus LA investment case, and following that, 54957B to do an employee evaluation concerning the city attorney. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, real quickly.
Apparently, it doesn't cover that.
Yeah, we're back from closed session. The city attorney will give the report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As to the matter of existing litigation, the city council was briefed and gave direction, but the direction given was not a reportable action under the Brown Act. As to the performance evaluation, the city council held the evaluation and no reportable action was taken. Thank you very much, sir.
You are, thank you. Okay, it's time to adjourn. September 15th, 2025, Ms. Doris Jean Hoffman. Doris Jean Hoffman passed away at the age of 90 on Thursday, September 4th in the early morning. Services was held today. Wife of a former Mayor Harold E. Hoffman and mother of former city clerk and city council member Rhonda Hoffman Gorman, Doris was given the title First Lady Emeritus by the Lawndale City Council in recognition of her longstanding support of her community and her husband, Harold E. Hoffman, as he fulfilled his duties as mayor until his passing in 2013. With her husband being one of the longest-serving mayors, in addition to his time on the city council, Doris has always been behind the scenes helping to make Lawndale a great place to live. She was known, too, by so many of her friends and families for her cheerful and pleasant demeanor. Her passing is a tremendous loss to the city and to her family. On behalf of the Lawndale City Council, we extend our heartfelt condolence to the entire Hoffman family and extended family on their loss. And that will be adjournment for tonight.
October 6th.
Okay, October 6th will be our next meeting of the Lawndale City Council, and we are hereby adjourned.
And she was never in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, she had been in the background. No. She always has a